Happy Wednesday. Welcome to episode 8 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala. In each episode, using research and in some cases, personal experiences where I actually visited these places, I'll be explaining some of the hidden locations and attractions around the United States and around the globe. If you've been following along so far, we've explored attractions that were in states relatively close to each other. Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, and the nearby islands in Michigan. But this week, we are going to travel further, to Oregon. With its nickname being the Beaver State, Oregon is located on the Pacific Northwest side of the United States, between Washington, Idaho, California, and Nevada. Our first attraction is located in the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area. Between Corbett and Dodson is Multnomah Falls. And I wish podcasts had the ability to show images, but if you Google or look up Multnomah Falls, you'll understand this description. Multnomah Falls is a 620-foot or so waterfall with a bridge that cuts through it, connected by 2 nearby rocks. And it allows you to experience 2 waterfalls, one above you and one below you. To get to the top of the Multnomah Falls is a 1.2 mile or so trail. The water flows from underground springs from Larch Mountain, as mentioned by the United States Department of Agriculture Forest Service website. These underground springs were formed 15,000 years ago, caused by the Missoula floods. The Missoula floods is from the glacial Lake Missoula, which were glaciers that melted and moved downstate from Washington. As mentioned by the Only in Your State website, the legend surrounding the Multnomah Falls is about the daughter of the chief of Multnomah people, who sacrificed herself by jumping off a cliff to save the Multnomah people who were getting sick and dying. The reason for her jumping off a cliff was to please the Great Spirit, who said that in order to save the people, a young maiden who was the daughter of a powerful man had to sacrifice herself. Nearby the picture-perfect waterfall is the Multnomah Falls Lodge, located at 53,000 East Historic Columbia River Highway, Bridal Veil, Oregon. The Multnomah Falls Lodge is on the National Register of Historic Places, as mentioned by the United States Department of Agriculture Forest Service, and it was built in 1925. Inside the lodge, there is a USDA Forest Service Information Center, a snack bar, and a gift shop, along with a restaurant, and it also gives visitors a chance to check out the nearby trails. How far would you go to experience your own version of the Jurassic Park Jurassic World movies? Our second attraction is at 36848 Highway 101 Port Orford, Oregon, where there is a garden that holds dinosaurs, known as Prehistoric Gardens. Sculpted by Ernest Nelson, who decided that after working as a certified public accountant, he moved with his family from Eugene, Oregon in 1953 to build his dinosaur park, or prehistoric rainforest, as mentioned by the Prehistoric Gardens website. He sculpted 23 dinosaurs made out of metal and concrete, and he based them off of research of dinosaurs' fossil skeletons. One of the dinosaurs includes a Brachiosaurus that is 86 feet long and 46 feet tall, while another includes the Pterodon with a wingspan of 27 feet. The Prehistoric Gardens includes a trail crossing 6 wooden bridges to explore the dinosaurs inside a rainforest. The rainforest itself includes 300-year-old trees, giant ferns, and skunk cabbage. Terrible Tilly, is another name for the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse Columbarium, our third Oregon attraction. It is located in Seaside, Oregon, on its own separate island. With tall waves crashing the side of the rocks and stormy weather present, no one wanted to take part in building a lighthouse in the hazardous conditions. And those who did participate encountered mental and physical challenges. The lighthouse was finished by 1881. It was built in over 500 days. And for 77 years, it operated until 1957. The unsettling journey to building the lighthouse included a surveyor who was swept off and drowned before the lighthouse was even constructed, as mentioned by Joel Gilliffin from the OPB Tillamook Rock Lighthouse website. The last person who left the lighthouse was keeper Oswald Aleek. Over time, the owners of the lighthouse changed several times and renamed the lighthouse to Eternity at Sea Columbarium. A columbarium is a burial site for human remains. The lighthouse is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and later became part of the Oregon Islands Wildlife Refuge System because it was home for 12,000 birds. Today, the lighthouse is not active, and it can't be visited because of the sea conditions surrounding the lighthouse, making it difficult to travel by boat and unsafe. However, it can be seen from the shore of Ecola State Park at Ecola State Park Canyon Beach. There are also attractions within that same state park, including a segment of the Oregon Coast Trail is part of the Lewis and Clark National Historic Trail. And there's also the Crescent Beach, where it is said that seals, sea lions, gray and orca whales can be seen on that beach. In Tillamook County at 6030 Hangar Road is a museum that originally was the garage or hangar for the former U.S. Navy blimp hangar, called Hangar B. This hangar is the only one that the public has access to, out of the 7 that still exist in the United States, as mentioned by the Tillamook Air Museum. There was a total of 17 that were built in the United States. The 1,072 feet long, 296 feet wide, and 192 feet up in height wooden hangar was built in 1942 for World War II and was used to store blimps. In 1994, it was used as a storage space and is still used today for historical airplanes. One of the aircrafts include the Cessna 180F Skywagon, made in 1953, and was one of 2 aircrafts that flew over the North Pole, as mentioned by the Tillamook Air Museum website. Another aircraft in the museum is the replica of the Newport 11, a yellow propeller plane made by Gustave Delage, used as a French World War I single-seat fighter aircraft. There is also the MiG-G17F, or the Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-17 Lima 6, that was originally made in 1961 in Poland. It looks different than the Newport 11, with an afterburning engine, which can be seen on jets and fighter planes, as well as having its wings angled back rather than resting straight across, like on the Newport 11. Thanks for listening this week. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and tune in next week as we explore more hidden attractions in the United States.